Hey guys, this is Wayne Hauser with BassBite.com. I'm here at Sam Rayburn Reservoir with Brian Talmage. Brian has won over $100,000 as a co-angler. And guys, that is hard to do. And Brian has got a couple of techniques that I think can help you guys that ride in the back of the boat put more money in your pocket. Now Brian, if you were going to just fish with two lures across the country as a co-angler, what two lures would you take with you?
Right now, Wayne, I would be drop shotting with some robo worms, and I would be throwing a Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper.
Okay, and what is a Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper? Is that like a swim bait or?
Yeah, it's fairly cheap is the good part. You get quite a few in a bag for about $5, and it's a 5-inch swim bait. Very, very versatile. You can skip it under docks. You can fish grass like we're doing here at Rayburn with it, and you can do a number of different things.
Okay, and then a robo worm, is that like a straight-tailed worm, or is that a, what kind of worm is that?
They make a lot of different kinds. The ones I'm using out here are a fat straight-tail worm from robo worm.
Okay.
They also make a really good curly tail worm.
Okay.
A little different application, but they both work very well.
I got you. And have you got one with you here that we could take a look at?
Yeah, I do. Skinny Dipper?
Yeah, the Skinny Dipper swim bait. And how do you rig that dude up?
Out here, Wayne, I've got, first of all, I've got it on a 7.6 medium heavy because of the big fish out here.
Right.
I've got 20-pound line. I've got a 6-to-1 gear ratio reel, which is plenty fast out here fishing the grass like we're doing. But fishing around docks, I'd have basically the same setup, just shorter rod so I could skip docks. Like if I was where you live in Norman or something like that with a lot of docks, it's a great dock bait.
Right.
Fish haven't seen it. They see jigs and shaky heads and all that stuff. This is a totally different presentation, and it really works well.
And what size hook do you put in that dude?
I run a 5/0. I run a 5/0 Gamakatsu extra wide gap. It works great for me. I don't miss very many fish, and when you get them with that hook, you can really get them out of docks or grass or whatever.
And I noticed you have a little weight on the front. Do you usually use that, or is that something that you're just using with the grass lakes?
With the grass out here right now is how I have that rigged. I have it pegged. This is a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight. I have it pegged on there. That's because I'm fishing it around grass. I'm bringing it through the grass and then killing it so it flutters down, and the fish that are hiding in the grass are suspended or underneath the mat will come out and grab it.
Right. But if you were going to fish a lake like Lake Norman that doesn't have grass, what would you be doing with the bait then?
I would definitely have a small screw-in weight, anything from 1/8 to probably 3/8, depending on how deep it is and how fast you want it to fall. The screw-in weight enables you to skip it a lot better. If you try skipping this all the time pegged, the weight will be way up.
Right. So the way you fish it is you'd like skip it up under a dock and then reel it out and then just kill it and let the front weight just drive the bait to the bottom.
It's worked great for me. I think you get their attention when it skips under there, and then when you reel it real fast and then kill it by a piling or something like that, or around a brush pile that you know of.
Right.
They can't resist it. They really can't.
So and a buddy of yours in the FLW event had a top 20 finish doing that, correct?
Yeah, you bet. Last year at Lake Norman, so
I got you.
It does work. We figured it out in practice, and it worked great for both of us at Lake Norman.
I got you. Now you have another bait that you've won a whole bunch of money on, right? That's kind of your go-to bait, and that's the drop shot with the robo worm. Is that correct?
This is definitely the bread and butter. Last 2 years as a co-angler, this thing, little robo worm, 4-inch or 6-inch fat straight tail worm. Out here I'm throwing some brownish colors. They seem to work better, but like at Lake Norman, I was really doing well, getting a lot of bites. I broke off some fish in that tournament last year, but the bull bluegill color was fantastic for me out there.
All right, they had a little chartreuse in it, and that way the spots like the chartreuse.
Oh, they love it. They love the chartreuse.
They like the chartreuse. But around grass, you go with more of the reddish colors, something more bluegill imitation.
It seems to work better in Texas for me. Reds and browns do, but the bull bluegill catch them. But these have been better for me out here.
Now, let me ask you, what setup do you use? I notice that's a straight shank hook, and then you've got just a weight with a little swivel here in it, all right? And what size weight do you normally use, and what size hook setup do you use?
For me, I really like the weight part. I like the pineapple downshot weights. It's long cylindrical. You can fish around rock without getting hung up real well, and it really comes through grass real well. So that's basically what you're usually around. Or timber. It'll come through timber.
Right.
Anywhere from 1/8 to, I very rarely go over 1/4, just because I think it's really important to use the lightest weight that you can get away with. And that you have to consider depth, and then you have to consider the wind.
Okay.
So those are the two most important.
And then
things.
what size hook?
This is a 4-inch bait right here. I would use a 2/0, just Gamakatsu straight shank hook, and then I would rebarb it, which is just a piece of plastic sleeving, rubber sleeving that you melt on there to hold the roboworm in place. It's, you know, they're very soft, and that's one of the great things about them. Fish will hang on to them, but you got to have a rebarb on there to hold it.
Right. And what kind of rod setup do you normally fish that drop shot with?
Anytime I'm around bigger fish, around docks, grass, anything like that, I always use a bait casting rod. I usually go with 30-pound braid, and then I vary the fluorocarbon leader that I tie to it, and I keep the leader about 4 feet long.
And what was that, a medium heavy, medium light?
This one's a medium, and it was designed by Shimano for drop shotting. The little D right there says drop shotting. It's more of a parabolic bend.
Right.
It bends all, kind of like a crankbait rod would. It's a softer, like a moderate fast action.
Right.
So what it really does is it allows you to really load up on the fish without them feeling you. You can really set into them with a sweeping hook set, and I think that's really important.
I got you. So it's a special rod that you use. Do you have a spinning rod also that you use for that too?
I do. Around open water, anytime there's suspended fish that are around bait fish and you want to drop shot vertically, I always use a spinning rod for that with lighter line as well. And I usually don't use braid for that. I just use straight fluorocarbon. 5-pound sunline usually works really well.
And you actually try to flip that around docks or things, and no problems?
No problems at all. It's a great way to fish as a co-angler behind your pro. A lot of these guys are power fishing docks and stuff like that with jigs or skipping a jig or whatever they're doing, throwing tubes, or the drop shot behind them is deadly. Most people throw a shaky hit or skip a Senko, which are great things. But a lot of times you can fish a lot more efficiently, faster behind these guys that are going fast with a drop shot. Drop it down in there, let it hit the bottom, lift it up once, shake it a couple times. If they don't take it, pitch it to the next post or under the next dock or whatever.
Right. And most of the time you're using that bait casting setup when you're doing that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do it for the power of it to get it away from the cover structure.
I got you. Well, I'll tell you, that'll help you guys out there. If you're fishing BFLs, Bassmaster Weekend Series, and you're in the back of the boat, that'll put more, if you listen to that, that'll put more fish in the boat for you guys. And until next time, we'll catch you on bassbite.com. And Brian here has Mercury Marine and Triton Boats as a sponsor. So, they make a great product. So, if you have a chance, check it out at your local dealer. We'll catch you next time. Bye.